Dreaming about teaming up with a superhero? Heartbroken about the latest comic death? Do you find your conversations always turning to Marvel? Then welcome Marvelites to your therapy session. Join your hosts as we explore the realms of the Marvel Universe, taking you into new insights, movie reviews, and debates. Here, we won't try to cure any obsessions, but fuel them, because the world is better nerdy. Welcome to your Marvel Therapy Group.
Welcome back to Marvel Therapy Group. This is Joe, and with me is the other host.
Hey, it's Jack.
Jack, and we have a returning guest star, Brian Mazur. You remember him from a few episodes ago. He is the horror author. Say hi, Mr. Mazur.
Hello, Marvel Therapy Group people.
So this episode, we just couldn't get enough last episode talking about Endgame. There's a lot to unpack in that movie, and we need some more therapy. So we're dedicating this episode to Avengers Endgame once again. And what's really cool about this episode is that none of us have spoken to one another about Endgame yet. Jack, I don't know if you listened to the last episode because there were spoilers, and I don't know about you, Brian.
No, I started listening to it last night.
Okay.
I held off.
Same with me. I listened to it this morning.
I held off.
So this will be fun. I think right now we can go spoiler-free for a minute or two, and then we'll, again, alert people for spoilers, but we can talk about first reactions. So who wants to start?
Okay, I'll jump in if you don't mind. Well, first I want to see what you guys have to say about this. When they released the name of the movie, I didn't like it. I still don't care for it. For me, it sounded more like a James Bond movie or even a Mission Impossible movie. It didn't sound like a Marvel movie or Marvel comic book type of title. So that said, it really didn't impact my enthusiasm going into the movie. I was greatly excited to go see it, very optimistic, and I couldn't get to it last weekend, which was a disappointment. So I saw it last night, and the only reaction I can come up with, and I tried different words that I could describe it with, and nothing seemed adequate, to tell you the truth, for me. So I'll just go with, for now, wow.
That is a good word. Yeah, I have to agree that the title, when it first came out, I wasn't thrilled. I don't think many people were thrilled because there was so much hype leading up to the title.
Yeah.
Like, we had been told that the title was going to be a spoiler in itself, and it really wasn't. We had been told that no one on the internet has guessed what the title is, even though, 90% of the people had guessed Endgame. So, it was just kind of, It felt like they didn't even have a title for it. They're like, oh hey, lots of people saying Endgame. Let's go with Endgame.
Right.
It wasn't that I had a problem with the title. It was just I've still been calling this movie Infinity War. So I think it would have been easier for me if it was just Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Seeing the movie, though, I can see how it wasn't called Part 2. It really is its own story. It's very good.
It was. And I think that where the story actually jumps in, that gap, was had it stand out for the reasons you're giving.
But again, the title didn't sway my enthusiasm for it.
Right.
I was still really excited.
Right.
Actually, the week leading up to the premiere, I just got more and more excited. And I think I've said in past episodes that I was excited for it, but it was kind of like a fact of life. Endgame is coming out. I get to see it soon. But the week leading up, I just got so excited to actually realize, pretty soon, I'm going to be in a theater for 3 hours and 2 minutes watching this end of an era.
Yep. Yeah, it was awesome. It really was awesome. My reaction was and it didn't feel like 3 hours to begin with. When it was over with, it was I had to look at my watch because it seemed to me it was half that time, which is, you don't get many movies like that.
Yeah, same with Infinity War.
Right, exactly.
It didn't feel like 2.5 hours.
No, it didn't. So I was...
I don't know. There were points I was watching where I'm this is definitely a longer movie than normal. This is definitely a 3-hour movie. I was enjoying it. I wouldn't say I cut anything, but I was definitely, in the back of my mind, I was this is a long movie.
I was actually thinking that too for part of it because with the first trailer we knew that all of those scenes were from the first 20 minutes. So I was trying to gauge when 20 minutes were, and then I was like, okay, 20 minutes is over. Now this is a brand new movie. But my 20 minutes lasted for like the whole first act until they, well, we're still in spoiler free, but until they moved on to the next plot point. I just kept trying to like, so that I think that's why it didn't feel like 3 hours to me, because I was trying to gauge the 20 minutes. So for me, the first hour was 20 minutes.
And I think it was one of those rare, super hyped movies that you hear months and months about, and this one was a whole year.
Yeah.
That actually lived up to the hype or beyond. That doesn't happen very often.
Oh yeah, this whole movie was a fan service.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's so good.
Absolutely. And we're all sucking it up.
I like what you said to me. You're like, wow, you're a tough critic, but you liked this movie?
Right.
Yeah. I don't have a lot bad to say about it.
I would be amazed if you didn't like this movie, Joe.
I know.
Yeah. It was built for, like you said, fan serviced, and even the super fans such as yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it was made to appease them.
Where does it rank for you?
Oh my. I would say probably for sentimental reasons, I like the Avengers, the original one.
Okay.
First. This one's moved up to second, which for all my list surpassed Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Okay, nice. Jack?
I honestly haven't really given it much thought where it would land on my list. I feel like this is going to be the kind of movie that's going to flip back and forth with Endgame. Like, every time I go back and revisit the list, depending on which one I've watched again.
That makes sense. I'm going to have to put it...
It's never going to have, like, a solid place. It's always going to jump back and forth between that and Infinity War.
That makes sense.
Do you think there's a problem now going forward with the next era coming up, and there will be future Avenger teams? Has a level been set that this movie will forever be compared? That they'll have a hard time meeting, and it might be held against them?
No, I don't think it'll be held against them.
No?
I feel like they have a formula in place that they know where they want to go in Phase 4, even though we don't know where they're going in Phase 4.
Right.
That I think that they'll space it out enough that it's not like too slow but not too fast to be compared to Endgame. I think it'll just be a nice, steady continuation from Endgame.
Yeah, I hope it's the same recipe.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what they've done for the last 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And I hope that continues.
I don't think they're ever going to get this again. They're going to make movies, they're going to be good, but this was unprecedented, just in movie history. The way they built this up for 10 years and everything came together. I think they'll have good movies, they'll have good team-up movies. I don't see them having something like this again.
And I don't think they need it right away.
No.
I think
we're talking years.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, yeah, I agree that, like in the next Spider-Man movie, we know that Nick Fury and Maria Hill are going to be there. So I think we can see team-ups and it'll be just as exciting, but we're not going to get all, like, 60 characters in one place again for a while.
Right. Right. Because this movie also, you have to think dollar-wise. This movie made a lot of those actors superstars. Mm-hmm. Right? And, of course, with each movie's popularity that goes up, I'm sure their paychecks went up.
Yeah, probably.
You know, because I read a quick little blurb just on Friday about how the payment to the actors caused problems in the last movie budget-wise. And I can see that.
Yeah.
They're all, Robert Downey Jr., his career was like flagging because he'd had so many personal issues in the news too much. And this was Chris Evans' big break, I think, and Chris Hemsworth came out of nowhere as Thor, and that built his career. So,
I actually had a friend who looked it up and said that Robert Downey Jr. is the third highest paid actor in the world, and Scarlett Johansson was the first highest paid female actress.
Oh.
Do we want to go into? Do we want to go into spoilers now? Because I almost did.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to hold back here myself.
All right, so we're going to.
Just to add to that, to add to your last point, though, I do feel like there were some Avengers movies where Scarlett Johansson got more money than Hemsworth and Evans.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it might have been Ultron. She got more money than those guys, which is interesting.
And like what Brian was saying, she did have a lot more credibility to her name than they did.
Yeah. She'd had a history coming into it.
Yeah. Okay, so from here on out, we are going into full spoilers for Avengers Endgame, which we did last episode too, so if you listen to that one, then, I mean...
You're prepared.
You're prepared. You can expect spoilers. So, yeah, if you haven't seen Endgame, pause this podcast right now, go see Endgame, and then come back. Or, better yet, listen to it while you're watching Endgame. That'll be really interesting. Just put in some headphones in the theater. Double the...
Start doing the commentary.
Yeah, double the experience. It'll be great. So, anyway, yeah, they got rid of... So, spoilers. Iron Man and Black Widow died, which is still a gut punch.
Yes.
So they definitely got rid of some of their highest paid actors. Which...
Well, can we just talk about how the movie starts, and I'm like, sitting in the theater, I know what's happening, I'm like, oh, they're doing Hawkeye's family right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for that.
No,
No.
I didn't think it would start off like
I know.
that.
But I thought it was the perfect place
Yeah.
once they got into it. Because in Infinity War, you're wondering where the heck he was.
Mm-hmm.
And they got that right out of the way, explained it, and the impact on him and his family.
Yeah, and you even saw the ankle bracelet he was wearing.
Right.
The tracker.
Right.
Like what Ant-Man had.
Right. And the setting was perfect. You know, they're not in a town, they're not in a city where you can just disappear, and he's looking, you know, in the middle of an open field having a family picnic. And
with mayonnaise on a hot dog?
Mayonnaise on a hot dog. Yeah, that was funny.
I don't know who does that. Come on, Velma.
Joe's memorizing lines already. But I thought that was a great setting because it was in the middle of the field, and where the heck did everybody go?
Yeah. Actually, so I've seen it twice. I saw it twice in theaters, and both of you have seen it once, but much more recently than I did. So, like, we have a good spectrum here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I said Velma, because Linda Cardellini.
Linda Cardellini, right. Scooby-Doo movies, yeah.
What are you doing, Velma? Oh, and the second time I saw
is
it...
always like one movie away from being a Scooby-Doo podcast.
Yeah. The second time I saw it, I actually did see the dust flying away when he looks back at his daughter who went to go get the arrow from the bullseye. First time I didn't see the dust, and I was really watching for it, but I saw it the second time.
Oh, okay.
Which, like, wasn't... It was a nice touch, not like a good touch, but it...
It's like...
Because I missed the dust. I missed.
I knew it was happening. I knew this was the only way to get Hawkeye in the movie, but I was like, we're starting here. We're going all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good start because he was the only one that was questionable, I think, where the character was.
Oh, can I go back for a second and rate it for my ranking?
Yeah, go.
I think I'd have to put it as number 2. And the only reason it's not number 1 is for watchability. Because if I'm going to watch a movie, it depends on the day, but like I don't want to be sad, so I might not pick this one.
Oh.
But number 1 again, is it Doctor Strange or Ant-Man?
Ant-Man and the Wasp is my number 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that
interesting pick.
That one's not as long as Endgame, but it's really fun. And
Yep.
it's like a espionage kind of movie.
Oh, interesting.
So that's going to be my number 1,
Okay.
but like very interchangeable depending on my mood. Endgame or Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
So after that scene, I think we go to Iron Man, Tony Stark and Nebula.
Yes.
That was so much fun. I loved them just like playing was it paper hockey or whatever, or football or whatever.
Right.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
That honestly was one of my favorite scenes because like with this movie and so many characters, we actually got character development for a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So when Tony Stark was like, "Did you have fun?" and Nebula takes a beat and she goes, "That was fun." Like she's never had fun before.
Right. Yeah, I got that.
And I never thought about that. But that was a great line to put in there.
And it was very Tony Stark's reputation is being like a spoiled rich child type of actor, and I found my first thought was this was him giving of his heart and trying to form a communication with this alien being, through a very simple human game.
Yeah. It was really cool.
And just imagine being Karen Gillan and you get this role in Guardians that you don't really know where it's going to lead, and it leads to you actually getting like a one-on-one scene with like the guy in the MCU. Like that's just so cool to think about.
I think she had a huge role in Endgame. I was really excited to see
Yeah, she did.
how much screen time she got.
Oh yeah, she was a critical character. So Tony Stark is recording what's going on that ship that's stranded in space 5,000 light years from anything around them. And he knows he's going to die. And, of course, she can't die. But he's going to die. And so when that moment came, and she's treating him with such loving care.
Yeah.
Picks him up and puts him in the sea. I thought he was already dead.
Yeah, so did I.
I'm thinking, and the camera was on him for a long time. And he wasn't, I'm looking for movement, I'm looking for something. I'm thinking, come on already. That was my first anxious moment of the movie. It's like, come on already. And then there's the light, and he opens his eyes, and oh, okay.
And again, I'm like, wow, they're just not they're going full force in this movie. They're killing off Iron Man already.
Right.
In the first 10 minutes.
Right.
They're not holding back.
And he looked down, he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, he did not look good. I did notice that.
But that was also a good introduction to Captain Marvel, who I like much better in this movie than I saw in the Captain Marvel movie.
She kind of didn't do anything for me in this movie.
No.
Really?
So she wasn't in it as much as I thought she was going to be.
Right.
But I guess jumping to the end, you can see why, because if she could just fly down and take out, like, everybody, I could see why they couldn't have a lot of action scenes with her. But it was just kind of weird that they hyped her up and then she was in the movie for, like, 10 minutes.
No, I loved it. I loved how she was. I loved how they used her and how she wasn't in the movie for that long because, well, for that exact reason. But for me, it's the opposite. That she was so hyped up, and I didn't want her to just come in one move before Endgame and solve all their problems.
Right.
Well, I feel like all the people who had a problem with Captain Marvel, I think everybody was like, all right, let's see how, the open-minded fans were like, all right, let's see if her interacting with Avengers characters makes us, like, change our opinion on her. And they really didn't do that. She talks to people for, like, 5 minutes, then disappears for 2 hours.
No, it definitely changed my opinion. I really like the character now. Especially the end line, I like her, not sarcasm, but I guess just her demeanor, where she's a very take-charge person in the end battle scene where she's standing over Spider-Man, she goes, "Hey, Peter Parker, you got something for me?"
Yeah.
She's not rushed at all because she knows she's not going to be taken down just standing there.
Right.
She's so sure of herself. She knows that she's going to win because she's so powerful and can get this Infinity Gauntlet where it needs to go. No, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And the way that they got her out of the movie, that was really good, too, because she's like, there's thousands of planets that don't have you.
Right. That don't have you, right. And that would explain, also goes into explaining the ending why she came in when she did. She's busy doing what they're doing, but in other places.
Right.
Jack, you still there?
No, I'm still here. I'm like, I guess I'm the only one who didn't like Captain Marvel, so I was like a little nervous to like jump into
it's
We're
cool.
not changing
That's
your minds
cool.
here. Your mind? No. That's all right.
I'm looking forward a little more to the next Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Because of this one.
I just thought of another character we didn't get in Endgame. So we got a lot of the side characters too, but we didn't get Goose. That was interesting.
The cat?
Yeah, the cat. I was trying to think. The only characters that weren't in Endgame, I think, were Michelle from Spider-Man and Cassie's parents, her mother and stepfather, and Goose.
I mean, what were those characters gonna do, really?
Right.
I mean, I guess Goose could eat some people, but everybody else, meh.
Right, they weren't needed, but I was just amazed at how many side characters they managed to fit into the movie.
Yeah.
And make it relevant.
Yeah. Yeah. That must have been hard to get together and manage and schedule. And
Jack, were you upset that Jessica Jones wasn't in the movie?
It would have been cool. I didn't really expect it.
Right.
I mean, I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right, so they're back on Earth, and they solve time travel, basically.
Well, before that, they actually go and fight Thanos.
Oh,
which,
right.
Like, first 20 minutes in that theater, I was like, this movie is not what I expected. Like, they're just going for it right away.
Not at all, yeah. But the best part is that we didn't know what the movie was about. Yeah, they kill Thanos in the first.
Can I just say, I don't know why, but I found it really funny watching big CGI Thanos make soup in his cabin. I would take more of Thanos making soup.
Yeah, it's almost like he turned into the MCU version of the gardener. You know? He was on the garden planet.
Right.
He was like all alone, overseeing it. Just a very evil version of the gardener.
Yeah, then they come and just take him out. Thor cuts his head off.
Yeah,
Thor took care of him.
I like too how in that scene they, like, Marvel directors, they listen to the fans and they listen to all of our gripes. So in that scene, his hand got cut off, the gauntlet got cut off, which was something that we think would have been obvious in Infinity War, and then he cuts his head off. Goes for the head.
Right.
So
and then that's where it broke and took the 5-year jump.
Yes.
Once he was out of the way.
The 5-year jump. That was unexpected.
Right. Yeah. And they were still... And I like the fact that they were... 5 years later, they were still mourning.
Yeah.
The loss of family and friends and loved ones and just humanity in general.
Mm-hmm.
And the world's still not back. Like, they have that line,
right.
Like, oh, like, we meant the Mets. And I'm like, so, like, baseball's not even a thing?
Yeah, that was an interesting choice. At Citibank Field, that's where they were having a group therapy session.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that was cool.
Which really was a Marvel...
Joe.
What?
They were having a Marvel therapy group.
Right. It really was a Marvel therapy session because we got Joe Russo and Chris Evans.
Yeah.
They were both in that scene.
I'm going to choose to interpret that scene as half of the Russo brothers got snapped out of existence.
Oh, I'm gonna choose to acknowledge it as they listen to our show and they're like, ooh, therapy group, we can use that.
All right, so at that point it started covering everybody's loss.
Mm-hmm.
You know how individually the
Snapocalypse, sure.
Affected them.
Snapgate.
The Snapture.
Snapture, yeah.
The snapping.
Snapture's easier to say. How it affected each of them.
Yeah.
You know, and how deep and dark so many of them went.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go back to something I had mentioned in the previous podcast time I was on here, is that when it comes to superhero comic books, I enjoy the person out of the costumes. That's my favorite part of the comic book story, more than the fight, the superhero fights or anything else. So I really enjoy the heck out of the beginning parts of that movie, like the first hour.
Yeah.
Where we covered them as they were covered as humans, and death to loved ones affects all of us, and how it affected them. I totally enjoyed that part.
I think it was so smart to get rid of essentially half this massive cast, so that you have more time to have these quiet moments with the OG 6 Avengers.
Yeah, it definitely worked really well.
You don't have to rush through everything. The cast is more streamlined, and they're just able to focus on these people.
Yeah, it worked really well.
Right.
I liked the scene too with Natasha, and she's overseeing the rest of the Avengers, and just kind of managing it from her desk, but you can visibly see that she's distressed and she's crying. She's still not over it 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good scene, really powerful. Also, I tweeted about this, but Okoye has a line that says, "It's an underwater earthquake. We don't do anything about it."
Oh, yeah.
And if that's not the way the MCU brings in Namor, then what's the point of that line?
Ah, good pickup.
Right.
Good pickup. Yeah. We'll see. Well, isn't Marvel supposed to, once Spider-Man movie comes out in July, after that at some point, they're supposed to announce their plans for the next group of movies?
I don't know.
I thought...
I think we're not sure because I think they've said things where it's like, oh, we kind of regret that we announced our whole slate of movies as early as we did, so it feels like it's something they might not want to do again for Phase 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, all we know is that they have a Black Widow movie in the works.
Right.
The Eternals. And, like, we can guess that Guardians Volume 3, Black Panther
Yeah, that's
2,
supposed to be.
Captain Marvel
Doctor
2,
Doctor Strange,
Doctor
too.
Strange 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real quick, who do you think, if they decide to go this route again, like set up a giant villain for the next few phases, who do you think it would be?
Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that would be my guess, too.
I think Doctor Doom makes the most sense, but I'm gonna go with Annihilus. Because they've gone so cosmic, but also quantum. And I think Annihilus would fit in really well.
So you think they're going to go to space now more in the next phase?
Yeah.
Okay.
More, if not space, then more mystic, like Doctor Strange 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Quantum realm.
Well, Doctor Doom's kind of a character where you can have the mystic and the science and the space.
Yeah. Yeah, true, actually. I think Doctor Doom would be introduced in Black Panther Black Panther 2, Doctor Doom gets introduced with some tiny Easter eggs for Namor. Then Black Panther 3, you get Namor. Yeah, like they have to team up with Latveria because Atlantis is waging war, as Atlantis tends to do. Anyway,
Endgame.
Endgame.
So, like Jack said,
Everybody's sad, and then Paul Rudd shows up.
right, right.
Yeah, thanks to that rat, which stepped on a button. You know, reopened the quantum
Thank
realm.
God for
Right.
Paul Rudd. He's so much fun. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm happy he had a role in this movie.
Yep. I
Also,
agree.
Ken Jeong was the security guard.
Was that him?
He had no
yes.
lines, which is weird, but
Well,
whatever.
You know, they're giving their community cast members their cameos.
Yes, I love it. And we had Shirley. She was in
Yeah, I
there.
saw that.
I'm all for the community references.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I said it in another podcast episode, but Joel McHale and Alison Brie as Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm.
I don't know.
I
don't
can
know.
see.
I don't watch Community.
I can see it. Oh yeah,
What
so
Mayor did was Cassie too. I thought Cassie was too old.
yeah,
Minor nitpick. I feel like she was like 5 in the last movie, and now she's like
Yeah.
17.
it was a little weird. Yeah,
Yep.
I was trying to think, like, at max, maybe Cassie was 10, so now she's 15. I don't know. It was weird. Or, like, she was 7 and now she's 13. Like, yeah, you can get the 13 to 17
Right.
range, I guess. It was a little weird, but
Interesting.
we'll go with it, I guess. I'm really interested to see what they do with the 5-year time jump. Because it's really cool to follow the MCU in the present time, be like, yeah, this is the year that it happens, and it's the current year, but now it's 5 years ahead. So it doesn't
Well, I
match
thought
up with
that
our
was-
timeline.
I thought
Oh,
that was
yeah.
good because in that time Tony Stark goes and he gets a family, and now he has something to lose again.
Yeah, no, I loved the time jump, but I just don't know how they're going to work with that now,
Right.
in the future of the MCU.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, that was my thing. I did have a criticism about that. So if it's 5 years in the future, and they just brought like all the Snap people back, how come Peter Parker and all his friends are all still in high school together?
Yeah, so I actually have an answer for that. Because we only see Ned. Well, actually, we know that all 4 of his quote-unquote friends, because I'm including, Flash Thompson? Is that the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flash
including...
Thompson, MJ.
Yeah. Yep, all 4 of them, Ned, MJ, Flash, and Peter Parker, got snapped. Like, I think that's been confirmed. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that all of his classmates got snapped, because for all we know, that was just a high school setup for the snapped people who need to catch up on their lives. Like, we didn't see any familiar faces.
Right.
Like, we don't know his classmates. These
Right.
people could just be random people that got snapped.
Right.
They'll either address it or just never bring it up again, and people will always just kind of wonder.
Yeah. But we know that Far From Home takes place after Endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the only
I feel
part...
like they said when they're releasing a trailer for Far From Home tomorrow, that it's going to have slight spoilers for Endgame.
Yes. Yes, but the Russos are lifting the Endgame ban on Monday. So the day this is released, this podcast. Oh, that's perfect. We're doing a spoiler episode on the day that we can do spoilers.
Well, then why'd we even bother with the non-spoilers in the first place?
I don't know.
Now, the only part of the movie that I kind of questioned, because for me it was a timeline thing, as from when the quantum realm is introduced as to where he was, to when they figure out how to time travel with the quantum realm. That seemed to go awfully fast for me. And within the movie, I didn't know how long the act was.
Oh, okay.
How fast that was.
Right, because it
Timing-wise.
seemed like Tony Stark just solved time travel.
Yeah, all of a
in
sudden,
the
like,
night.
he was like he woke up. Like, oh yeah, but you know,
I think the thing with that is that we didn't see how many trials he had done, so we just happened to see the one where it worked.
right,
Well,
right.
it's like the Back to the Future thing. Doc Brown slept on a toilet while hanging a clock, and he figured out time travel. So there's precedent.
The flux capacitor.
But that is interesting. Yeah, we don't know how long.
Yeah, it just it was kind of.
I mean, it's like Doctor Strange too. We don't know how long he was in Comertage.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that.
So, what do you guys think of this in Hulk?
Oh, I
Bruce
loved
Banner.
it.
I liked it.
Bruce
I
Banner
thought it
Hulk.
was good.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah,
I did too.
loved it.
And it kind of picked up where like Thor Ragnarok or the last movie was where he was Hulk and him and Rebecca. He couldn't get the Hulk to come out.
Yeah.
Because the Hulk didn't want to come out.
Yeah, he's had a really good storyline since Age of Ultron, I feel like.
Yes.
And then it was kind of resolved and wrapped up in Endgame.
Yes.
No, I loved it.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought that scene where the kids came over and took a picture was a little awkward because it was like they were trying too hard to be funny, I guess. Not like, I don't know, it was weird. The kids,
Yeah.
Ant-Man was like, "Do you want a picture with me?" And they're like, "No," and they kept going. I'm like, they don't want a picture with him. Leave it at that.
Right. Yeah, it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
I think so, but that's fine.
Yeah, no.
Overall, the whole movie, it's like
You're right.
cares?
It's a terrible movie.
it was one of those. But also I liked about movies there were the lulls. There's always a lull in the movie.
Yeah.
But these were short,
Yeah.
quick lulls, and then just went on.
Yeah, I was saying in the last episode that I think, like, the only two lulls I can think of were Black Widow. That first scene the scene where Black Widow's talking to Captain America, and she's like, "If you want me to see the silver lining, I'm gonna hit you with a peanut butter sandwich."
Right.
Which is a good line. And when Thor was talking to his mom.
Right.
But they were important lulls.
They were. They were important
So
lulls.
speaking of that, I finally looked up one of those guides where it's like when to pee during Avengers Endgame,
Yeah?
and they give you 3 suggestions, and they're suggestions I wouldn't have thought.
Okay.
I don't know if I agree with them. So the first one is they say go during the first time travel test scene, because they're like you'll just miss like a wacky scene, but it doesn't really do anything.
Where Ant-Man comes back as an old man and a
where Ant-Man
baby.
keeps coming back as an old, and then as a kid, and then as a baby.
Okay.
They say do that. They say the second time is right before the Avengers go off on their time travel mission.
Mm-hmm.
So when Cap is giving his speech, I think. And then the third one is they say go right after Cap says Avengers Assemble.
What?
Well, because it's just, I guess they're figuring like, oh, it's just CGI action. Like, you're not going to miss
Okay, no, that's fair.
much.
Alright.
Yeah, scenes I wouldn't have expected, but I guess I can see the thinking.
I guess. But these scenes in this movie were so short. Like, is that enough time?
Right,
to
I
go
know.
to the bathroom.
Get out of the seat, get to the door, and then you're back in the action.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And then, should we talk about Fat Thor?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I loved New
love
Asgard.
That. I love that.
oh yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah, it's going back.
Especially when they called him out as acting like the dude from The Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm all about that.
Yeah, it's going back to how we see how the snapping has affected everyone, and clearly he didn't handle it well. He's hurting.
he was hurting badly. Yeah, he took it highly personal.
Yeah, I liked it, and I know I've read somewhere some people thought it was fat shaming, but I feel like the way it ended up not being fat shaming is that he didn't get back in shape by the end of the movie.
Right.
Like he fights, like he still fights like in that same shape he was in, and he ends the movie still as like in that same. So I feel like if he had like immediately magically got fit again, it would have been kind of fat shaming, but the way they did it, I think, was really well done.
Yeah, no, I think it was really well done. Like, he was hurting, and then he gets that moment with his mom, and his mom's like, "You'll be okay," essentially.
Eat a salad.
Yeah. But then he gets Mjolnir, finds out he's still worthy. It was good.
Yeah, that was a good scene too. I enjoyed that.
They got Natalie Portman back for the movie.
Yeah.
Do you think
I
that-
feel like...
What?
No, sorry, you were gonna say something.
Oh, do you think that was she actually back, or was that a scene not used in the second Thor movie?
They confirmed it was a scene. It was a scene not used in Thor: The Dark World. But
Yeah.
I guess she recorded a voiceover to
Oh.
tie it all together.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
There were some
I
lines...
would have killed if Natalie Portman had done a scene with Rocket Raccoon.
There was a line where she was asking for pants that I didn't remember from Thor: The Dark World, so I think that was like her only line, so maybe that was the one. Or maybe...
Well, since we're here now, what you guys think of the whole like Back to the Future 2 type angle they took with the time travel?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I love everything about this
Yeah,
movie.
no, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, totally
I
enjoyed that.
especially like the stuff that takes place like right after the Avengers movie.
Yeah. I like how them making up their own rules for this movie allow them to have certain liberties. Like, I don't know, they just basically said that going back into the past is now your present. So the reverse, I guess, if people from the past came to the future, that would be their present, which allowed all of them to die, which allowed Nebula to shoot herself, which allowed Gamora to come and she probably stuck around because
Yeah, I'm thinking.
yeah.
I'm thinking she stuck around, and I like the twist of Thanos figuring out the whole time travel thing and taking advantage of that and for his needs.
Oh yeah, there's always the point in the movie where things are going wrong, and that's where the problem
Right.
comes around. But I was genuinely stressed out when Loki got the Tesseract. I was like, no, this is the point where everything goes wrong. I was really stressed.
I definitely feel like this is how we get the Loki TV show.
Yeah.
This is the starting point for that.
It would have to be a different timeline, though. Like a different a different universe.
Who really cares, though? It's going to be like 8 episodes of Loki doing wacky stuff throughout time. I'm here for it.
Yeah. I think this definitely opens the doors for the multiverse in Marvel.
Well, what I enjoyed a lot about the whole time travel thing, besides the fight between Chris Evans and Captain America and himself, or Nebula and herself,
Yeah.
was how they encapsulated the whole 10 years into the movie to give that rounded feeling to the story. Mm-hmm. And they showed it through clips, new scenes with Russo as Thor's mom. They even got Robert Redford back.
Yeah.
For that.
He's like legit retired from acting.
Right, and they got him back for that confrontational scene. It was just
They got Michael Douglas back.
Michael Douglas came back, and it was just for me when I'm realizing watching as the whole time travel story plays out is that this was really well thought out by the writers over the past year or so. How well they incorporated the entire universe.
Yeah, and again, we get to see, we get some of, like, internet gripes solved. Like, in the Battle of New York, why weren't the wizards helping? But we do see Tilda Swinton is the Ancient One, taking down the
Tilda Swinton came
Chitauri.
back.
Yeah, she's, like, throwing her magic, like, fan blades around and chopping them in half. It was great.
And one of my favorite scenes in movies is when she punches the Hulk and knocks Bruce Banner out of the Hulk.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
I think any scene with Tilda Swinton is going to be good.
Yeah. That's a
I
good.
like how
That's
she
a
was
good.
just like, "Oh, you're from the future."
Yeah.
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 It
Yeah.
was great. And she knew about Stephen Strange. She was like, he was supposed to be the best of us. I love it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's well-rounded. So much thought. So kudos to the writers.
Yeah, and it also,
Oh, yeah.
especially that scene makes some Doctor Strange scenes and Infinity War scenes make more sense because there's a line in Doctor Strange where it's right before she dies and she goes, I kept looking forward to this moment, but I couldn't see past this moment. And then it relates to Doctor Strange and Infinity War watching the 14 million different timelines or scenarios. And then in Endgame, she says, like, you're 5 years too early. So it was really cool that they connected all those different lines into, like, one scenario, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really
Yeah,
well done.
I feel like Cap was the best time traveler out of everybody.
He was, yes.
Like, he knew exactly what to do to get out of every situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the whole scene in the elevator where you think it's gonna be like the Winter Soldier fight again, and he's just like, Hail Hydra.
Yes.
And next scene he's just walking away with the staff.
That's a great callback to the comics, too,
Right.
where he became the Hydra agent.
Right. So you want to talk about the battle?
Yes.
Yes. So for me, the first emotional moment was where I got tears in my eyes. Actually, was when everybody came back through the portals.
Okay.
Okay, that hit me, and they showed each one.
Wait. Actually, can we talk about Black Widow?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Black Widow. Yeah.
that's
go
a
for
really
it.
important
I'm sorry.
scene.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to talk about that, Jack?
Yeah, that was the thing that got spoiled for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Me too.
Oh, that
Well, I
sucks.
saw like, I didn't even fully understand it. I just saw something. It was like a joke meme. It was like Black Widow fell. And I didn't
Oh.
know what it meant. But, like, it was only until, like, they went to go get the Soul Stone that I'm like, oh, she's gonna die.
Oh, it was so sad. I was so stressed during that scene, too, because they both ended up jumping off the cliff at one point, and it was so stressful.
I like how they played that out.
Yeah.
Kept tripping each other up till the edge.
And I like how they resolved, or, like, wrapped up that character arc, too, where in the first Avengers, they kind of have a thing, but this just wraps up as they're like kindred spirits. They're not romantically involved, but they definitely understand each other.
Yeah, it's a brother and sister type
Yeah,
thing. Maybe.
they need
Yeah.
like they're crutches in each other's lives.
Right.
They're the closest two people who do what they do can be.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. I liked how it wrapped it up.
Yeah.
And like, as sad as I am over what happened, it was a good ending for her character too.
Yes, I agree.
Well, they're doing a Black Widow movie, so...
Yeah.
The rumor is it's going to be it's going to be her origins type of thing.
Yeah. And I've heard
We'll
some people
see.
are like, well, why would we care about that? I mean, I would love that.
I would
so.
love that too. I like the Black Widow, so I'd be into that.
Another thing could be her. It could be her and Gamora instead of the Soul Stone trying to get out. Yeah.
I did like how they did that, how they very clearly established, like, you can bring back people who were snapped, you can't bring back people who died.
Yeah.
I think that was a good move for them.
Right.
But in the time travel act, they kept jumping back between Morag and New York, but they were not going to Vormir. And I was like, I realized that we hadn't seen them yet, and I thought they're saving this for one big scene because one of them has to die, and then they did.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was sad.
And you're right. That's where it began. All the emotion that us as the audience was going to start to feel.
Mm-hmm. Then she didn't really get a funeral because they didn't have time. Oh, and then another sad part was because she said, "See you in a minute," and then she's the only one that doesn't come back.
Right.
So
Yeah.
sad.
Oh yeah. You picked up on that.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, yeah, so battle scene.
Battle scene, yeah. So
This scene is like the airport scene in Civil War. Like, this is why you see the movie.
right,
Well, see,
right.
as cool as the battle scene is, just before that, can I just talk about how cool it was to see like the big three, Thor, Cap, and Iron Man going up to
Yes.
fight Thanos?
That was great. And again,
And
like,
Thor does that thing where he grabs both hammers.
yeah, and again, that's like a fan service, but also wrapping up their arcs because they've clearly resolved their own issues enough that they're uniting to fight Thanos. And of course, it's the big three. This is what the MCU revolves around, so we want to see them have their big moment.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It was so good.
And then, they got the ultimate fan service moment where Thor's about to die, and you see the hammer lifting up,
Uh-huh.
and you see fly past into Captain America's hand.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you think... I don't agree with this theory, but there's a theory that in Age of Ultron, Captain America was always able to lift Mjolnir, but he chose not to kind of, like, spare Thor. I don't think that's true. I don't think he could lift it. I think that he just became worthy, or maybe Mjolnir was like, oh, hey, we gotta save this person. You seem worthy enough.
Right.
The theory that right now that I like is that he couldn't lift it in Ultron because he was hiding the fact that he knew Bucky killed Tony's parents.
That's interesting.
But that was one of my favorite moments of the movie. Was he held out his hand, and here it comes into his hand, and Thor there. I knew it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite moments.
Then he summoned the lightning, and and then he threw the shield and threw the hammer to create, like, the sound barrier type thing that made Thanos stumble.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
So
Or even
cool.
that scene where Thor has the little hammer and Captain America has like the axe, and Thor's like, no.
Yeah, you can...
Yeah, but when I just want to get back to when everybody came back through the portals, and the way they showed it, cinematography wise, was beautiful. And that was the first moment that I got tears in my eyes. And it kept on going, and then the music's playing, and everybody's coming in and getting ready to do battle, and that was my first powerful scene.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's just like 45 minutes of this giant battle where we get everyone. Like, Valkyrie even gets her Pegasus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Very cool.
It was amazing. And then they even have callbacks to that. Like, Pepper comes in the suit that Morgan was wearing in the beginning.
Yep.
One of my favorite moments from the fight is when Giant Man punches like the like snake spaceship in the face.
Uh-huh.
I love that. I love how Wanda got a good...
I was going to talk about that. That is my favorite. I mean, if you've listened to this podcast before, you know how much I love Wanda Maximoff in these movies. But that was my favorite scene in that big battle scene, because she came in really upset and seemingly more powerful than she has been. I think maybe she just, like, wanted to end it, so she just tapped into all of her power reserves. But she single-handedly defeated Thanos. Like, we saw her breaking the armor apart and just, like, drawing and quartering him with her powers. And the only reason that she didn't kill him there and then was because he, like, admitted defeat, that he was losing, and rained fire. I love her. I can't wait for her TV show.
I feel like they definitely, because in Infinity War, Thanos was almost sympathetic. You can almost see where he's coming from with this idea that he has to kill half the people.
Uh-huh.
Whereas this movie, I thought they very clearly were like, no, this guy's just crazy.
Yeah. He was much worse in this movie.
Yeah, he evolved to taking this as chances to wiping everybody out.
Yeah.
And saving just the few who will be grateful to him.
I don't even think he would do that. I think, like, the Black Order, he just snapped them out, too, and be like, nope, I'm creating my own universe.
Yeah, that was... And his evolution, his mindset in the movie also was awesome. Mm-hmm. Just made you hate him more and root even harder.
Yeah, definitely. He was much worse in this movie. And then we saw the Scarlet Witch. She's holding off the giant sword thing, but then she just smiles and just flips it out of his hand and it goes flying.
Right.
And she disarms him, which is something that, let me point out, Thor, Captain America, and Tony Stark could not do together. But she comes in, just one person, just gets
Well, I
disarms
just
him.
want to say that the Scarlet Witch character in these movies has been one of my favorite.
Yes.
Right along.
Love her. I might be biased because she can be the herald for the X-Men, but yeah, no, I love her. I love seeing her powers.
So
I like that scene where they had all the women characters come together to like defend Peter Parker.
yes.
A-Force.
That was another favorite scene. Yes.
Another fan service.
Right.
A-Force.
Yes, that was great.
Because there has been a lot of call for an A-Force movie, and I know that even some of the actresses want an A-Force movie, and this was probably the Russos. They're like, yeah, let's throw this in there, and yeah, fan service.
Yeah,
great.
That's who they should appeal to. Mm-hmm. Not entirely, but in a large number.
The fans.
Yeah, absolutely. The ones who have supported them and not only go to the movies, but buy the comics.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's where we got Captain Marvel. Just like, hey, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
You got something for me?
Yeah. I like the delivery of that line.
Yeah.
When she did it. It's like, I think that was the moment I'm thinking, okay, she's won me over somewhat.
Mm-hmm. And Spider-Man's cowering. He's like, hello, I'm Peter Parker.
Yeah. Oh, and I also like, it was something you had to watch for. It wasn't showcase, but his Iron Man spider outfit with the spider legs coming out the back. Mm-hmm. That was the first time you got to see that, right? Or am I missing something?
No, we saw it in Infinity War.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess
We saw instant kill.
We saw instant kill. Again, a callback to the other movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. And now we're getting... Oh, so then Thanos throws a javelin at the quantum machine and destroys it. So
they were trying to send him back originally, right?
Right, because Thanos' whole purpose was to get the stones, so they were trying to send them back before he could get them.
Right.
He stops that, and then we get to the sad part.
Oh. This was the most emotional part.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead, Joe. You go first. I'm going to cry.
Just before the sad part, though, I did enjoy seeing Thanos be like, I am inevitable, and snaps and looks like an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Just a clink of armor, of metal. Mm-hmm. And nothing happens.
I feel like I'm genuinely in mourning. Like I've lost someone. Because, I mean, that's half my life that I've been watching these movies. And
Yeah.
I'm never going to get another iteration of this Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then thinking about the future, like, we're never going to see this Iron Man interact with the Fantastic Four or the X-Men when they come in. Like, we're not going to get a lot of cool comic moments that we could have gotten. Even if they do bring back Tony Stark in some way, it's not going to be Robert Downey Jr.
There wasn't a better way to send him out, though. Like, as the man who basically started all of this,
Right.
There's no better way for him to go out.
Right.
I agree.
And I thought it was a perfect bookend. Iron Man started this whole thing, and then he ends it.
And his last line is, I am Iron Man.
Right.
Snap.
Right. It was perfect. It was, and really, let's be honest. Can they possibly recreate or bring back Tony Stark without Robert Downey Jr.? He is Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Cinematically, he owns the character.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
It'll be...
Then we get that whole...
If they...
Sorry, go ahead.
If they do a soft reboot, like the Men in Black series, or like continuing the franchise with different characters. If they do that in like 50 years with the MCU, like they did with Star Wars, they brought it back 50 years, and they try to bring back Iron Man, it'll have to be a different actor, and it'll just be weird for us who remember it. It'll be great for the next generation at that time, but it'll be weird.
That's optimism. You're thinking 50 years ahead, it's still a viable genre.
Oh, it absolutely will be.
But Mr. Downey is listening. Mr. Downey, Robert Downey, we love you, man.
Who we've also said that Ian McKellen listens to this podcast.
Yes, yeah, I caught that one, yeah, too. Yeah. But, yeah, it killed me when Peter Parker's is pleading for Tony to answer him and be, basically keep him alive.
That was a good.
It was like, oh man, and then Pepper comes in. It's okay, Tony. You can rest now.
Yeah.
Like, my God.
Did you notice that she says that earlier in the movie?
Yes.
After he says he solved time travel, and he's like, but I could put a pin in it right now. And then she goes, but could you rest, knowing that you could help these people, but aren't?
Right.
Then he did help them.
And he could rest.
And, yeah.
She said
well,
so.
I also like looking at that line as Gwyneth Paltrow saying to Robert Downey Jr., like, it's okay. We're going to be okay. You can rest now. Like, you made this universe. We're okay.
Yeah. I think this was her last appearance, too. I mean, I think she said that she might do cameos if she's asked to, but I think she's done.
Yeah, so many of them are done.
Yeah.
On to the next phase.
We still got a couple people who are going to hold down this franchise.
Oh, yeah, we have tons of characters still.
As far as I know, Mark Ruffalo is still going to be around. Hawkeye's still going to be around.
We'll get one more with Scarlett Johansson.
Thor said he loves the character and he's willing to come back whenever they need him.
Probably Guardians 3.
Could be good. Yeah, right. Yeah, that was kind of set up there at the end.
Yeah, he'll be like the comedic device to distract you from Gamora's absence.
Gamora's back. We saw her. She's back, man. Come on.
No, I think Guardians 3, here's another prediction. Guardians 3 is going to be, the Asgardians of the Galaxy. They're going to be looking for Gamora. And Gamora's arc for the next few movies, or maybe that movie, is going to be her. Because this is her from the past. So she doesn't have these experiences that the Gamora that we know has. But her soul, part of her soul is stuck in the Soul Stone, like the comics. So she's going to have to go find the Soul Stone and get her soul back. Then when they get connected, she'll have all the memories and it'll be the Gamora that we know.
Okay.
And it'll be happy.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now we're at the very end.
Yeah.
And we see...
And there was one other actor who made it pretty clear he's not coming back.
Yep.
What do you think of how they sent off Captain America?
I liked it. I mean, obviously there's the issue with time travel. Like, wouldn't he have created another timeline?
Yeah.
But I can strongly overlook that for how great the rest of the movie was. Yeah.
I think... I wasn't... I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was pandering to the audience too much. And to have him also finally being with the woman he loves was like it was force fed on us for us to accept that, okay, now he's an old man now at the end of his life. It was okay, but what I did enjoy was that he handed the shield to Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that. Because I didn't want Bucky to be the next Captain America because I like Sam Wilson.
Yeah, I didn't want that either. I'd prefer the Falcon. And again, that follows the comics, so it's good.
Right.
But I liked how he got his last dance with Peggy. But one thing I do want to say is that I never really I never fully backed the two of them as an item. Only because they knew each other for like a month. They never even went on a date. Mm-hmm.
It was a couple months.
Okay. I just feel like the
Joe doesn't believe
in that Steve Rogers had for her.
Joe doesn't believe in love at first sight.
That was weird. I mean, that's what it was.
She liked him even before he was Captain America. It's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, no, and
she did, even when he was the wimpy guy being picked on. She saw something special in him.
Yeah, and it's cute, but it's like 10 years later and you're still pining for this woman who died.
Why do you hate love, Joe?
Joe's bitter. So we have Tony send off.
Mm-hmm.
His wake.
And they used the first reactor.
Yep.
It said proof that Tony Stark still has a heart.
Yep.
It was sad.
And they showed so much of the cast was there just for that shot.
Yeah.
Brought so many back just for that.
Yeah, that was
moment.
another great scene. like with the battle scene where we see everyone there again, and it's panning through the
Right.
the whole, not audience, but the crowd.
But the crowd, yeah, his friends.
The audience at the funeral.
And Nick Fury up on the porch,
Yeah.
overseeing all of it as it happens. Yeah.
I'm excited. Like, this movie had a conclusion and it had closure, but I'm still excited for Spider-Man Far From Home, because I feel like that'll give us even more closure.
Yep.
Because that's been confirmed as the last movie of Phase 3.
Yep.
And after that, we don't know when the next movie is coming out.
Right.
Or what it is.
Right.
So
Well,
I'm like...
my roommate did bring this up, and he made a good point that it's like, if you were like, okay, I want to get off this train, like, I want to get off the Marvel train, this is about as good of an ending as you're ever going to get.
Yeah. I mean, why would you want to get off the Marvel train? But no, it's a really good ending.
So do we want to have any concluding comments?
What was your... favorite line? Like, what's your most memorable line and scene?
Oh, go ahead, Jack.
That's a good question. I probably laughed the hardest at Thor being called Big Lebowski. Just because it was all I could see for, like, the rest of his scenes. Favorite scene, honestly, is probably just the scene of Thor, Cap, and Iron Man going up to fight Thanos. Because this is like, it's the big three. It's like...
Yeah.
It's the big three of this... the big three, the anchors of this franchise, going off to fight, like, one last battle together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My favorite scene is Scarlet Witch single-handedly taking down Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
And then lines that stick out to me are small lines like Okoye saying, "It's an underwater volcano, we don't do anything about it." And Captain Marvel's, "Hey, Peter Parker." And Black Widow's, "See you in a minute," which I've said all these already. But like small lines like that stick out to me.
My favorite scene, again, was when everybody comes back. I thought that was just so well coordinated, so well done. And my favorite scene was Tony's end, where Pepper's telling him he can rest now. That was...
Which really, again, factors into the watchability, or rewatchability of this movie.
Yeah.
It's like, I love this movie, but do I want to be sad every time I put it in? Yeah.
Well, I think, in conclusion, I thought it was well-rounded. They thought of the writers, producers, everybody thought of just about everything that could possibly be thought of.
Yeah.
To bring that everything together worth, like I said, of 10 years of movies to satisfy all of us. Even the most diehard like yourself, Joe.
Jack, I think we should just spend the next... So this is episode 2. The next 20 episodes talking about Endgame. Just one episode for every movie.
Why don't we just do a minute-by-minute dissection of Endgame, Joe?
Perfect. Yeah. Where, like, every minute of the movie is an hour-long episode?
Every single minute, exactly.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah, there's some, right? There's several podcasts like that on different shows and movies.
Oh, perfect.
They break it down. Literally, minute by minute.
Perfect. We'll get on that. All right.
So I'm hoping to see it again, because you're bringing up things that I missed, especially in the battle. There was so much going on, I couldn't keep my mind and I couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see the movie again before it's out of the theaters.
I will definitely
What about you guys?
see it. I will definitely see it again.
I know you will, Joe. Jack?
Yeah, I'll probably see it again.
Yeah. It's made almost $2 billion already.
It surpassed it.
It did already?
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
it made more than $2 billion.
I like the memes where, like, I've seen a meme of from Winter Soldier where Steve Rogers is running past Sam Wilson, but Sam Wilson has Avatar across his chest, and Steve Rogers is Avengers Endgame, so it's like Avengers Endgame is sneaking up on Avatar to surpass it.
Well, just surpassed Titanic, and the next one is Avatar.
Yeah, like all movies are held to Avatar standard
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, it's made $2.189 billion.
Ooh,
It was
amazing.
doing pretty good.
That's only a weekend. Can you? I can't. It just like boggles the mind.
Yeah, only 1 week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weekends.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's great.
Is there anything else?
No. I mean, again, once we sign off, we'll probably think of more things to talk about. But
Yeah,
we'll talk about that over the next 20 episodes, right, Jack?
exactly.
All right.
Guys
So
are funny.
this has been Marvel Therapy Group. And feel free to find us on all social media, as well as anywhere you listen to podcasts, including YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play. And I'm Joe.
I'm Jack.
I'm Brian, and thank you guys for having me.
And
Thank you for being here.
we will be back next week, probably talking about Endgame some more.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's Marvel Therapy Group, where together we can work through our comic thoughts and learn to live beside them. Views expressed are of the host only and do not reflect Marvel Studios or comics in any way. Hosts are in no way qualified to provide therapy. This is simply the name of the podcast. This has been another Marvel Therapy Group session.